Welcome back to our channel. My guest today is Alex Monroe, a licensed social worker and a therapist in bioenergetic analysis. So Alex, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Pablo.
For those who are not familiar, what is bioenergetic analysis?
Bioenergetic analysis is a somatic, psychodynamic, and relational form of psychotherapy. So it's a way of working with the body and including that as a resource and a tool that people can make use of in guiding themselves through the bumps and potholes of daily living.
So how do therapists use bioenergetics analysis?
Suppose I grew up in a family that was dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of job issues, health issues. So the adults are really flooded by having to manage that. And so little Alec has his needs and asks these big people, hey, can I have something? No, Alec, be quiet. Can't you see I'm busy? And so when I feel some of the needs that I have and try to speak to them, if I continue or frequently get that kind of response, what I learn is, hey, it's not safe to speak for what I need. Okay, just keep it to myself. These guys are real busy, so I'll just try and take care of them. Okay? So as I grow up with those kinds of messages being repeated, then I feel that what's important to me really isn't important to anybody else. And so I take on, in my body, I don't really have the energy to do more than to just be here like this. So as I come in to see you and I'm like this, what's your hunch of what's going on here?
Yeah, it feels more like, for me personally, it feels like more like the person would have shame, right? Hunched over, right? Lacking confidence, just that hunched over kind of.
Yeah, so I can see you're taking that posture on some yourself. So try and do that a little more.
Yeah.
Just as a way to get into what this client, Alec, might be struggling with. In using bioenergetic therapy, it's like, okay, well, what's the way to help the person disorganize this? Okay, so one way might be just breathe in more deeply and just notice what happens to your body as you breathe in more deeply. So as I breathe in, see, and so notice what's happening. So you're straightening up. There's things happening in your chest and your shoulders and your neck, your head. Like, how are you feeling now compared to how you were feeling before?
Yeah, so I noticed I went from like a shameful posture, demeanor, into a more, with breathing, I just went into more confidence, reassurance, right? More
so you're
present. Right?
Yeah. So your emotional sense of yourself changed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does this feel more like everyday, Pablo?
This does, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Today, I'm more this as opposed to, when I started my healing, I was more here, right?
So, and that's a really helpful example. That as we notice some of these messages our body carries, and then work with them, we can reorganize sort of my habit way of being. Rather than it being this, it's more this, and as I feel this happening, I can notice it and say, oh, I'm starting to feel depleted. Okay, it's time to do something more for me so that I can have more of present time Alec available.
It sounds like it really emphasizes the mind-body connection. Why is that so important, that connection in therapy?
Well, we are a unity. Mind and body are one. And early on, up till about 18 months or so, we experience things totally. And once we start learning language, okay, so I can say what's bothering me. Instead of just crying, I can say, hungry, cookie, or something that I'm wanting. So that gives more information to my parents, and they welcome that because it's like, there's less of a puzzle to try and figure out here. And so there's a lot of support for verbal stuff. More so than feeling the feeling, it's like, well, what's that about? Explain that to me. Okay? So we all get taught, we all learn how to be in our head, how to describe patterns, and we don't get as much support for feeling them.
That makes a lot of sense. How do clients typically react to this kind of approach?
It depends on how cautious they are when they come into therapy around listening to their body. Some people have had such deeply wounding experiences in their body. The pain has been so much, emotional pain and physical pain, that I don't want to go there. So there'll need to be more talk time and relational time for the client to feel safe enough to start to dip into feeling some of that pain. Other people might come in and there's more spontaneity, there's the kinds of things they're struggling with are somewhat different, so it's more redirecting the person to, yeah, but what's happening in your body?
That makes a lot of sense. Would you be open to guiding us through a bioenergetic exercise?
Sure, we can give that a try.
Sure.
What comes to mind is to hold this end of the cushion.
Sure.
Just let yourself go back at whatever particular age comes up in this. And I'll ask you to close your eyes for a moment. Don't do that just yet, but just feel that as you're holding that end of the cushion, there's someone else on the other end of the cushion, okay? So just maybe take a breath and then close your eyes for a few seconds and notice what that's like. And then open your eyes again and just remember what that felt like. And then we'll do that once more. And then what I'm going to do in that is I'm going to let go of my end and see if there's any difference that you notice between this time. Okay, and then open your eyes, and was there a difference between those two?
Yeah, initially when you asked me to grab the pillow, I could feel your energy because you're grabbing. I could feel your a little bit of a tug.
Yeah.
And immediately, I think because for me personally, I carried a lot of my trauma in my chest and my heart, so I immediately felt that. But as you asked me to, we eventually let go. It's funny that I didn't feel your energy anymore. So then my heart and chest kind of started to dissipate, started kind of calming down a bit. So that was interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
See, because I think this can be an example of how those are wounded states, which we all have, can get bumped into in present time events. Okay? So if something similar to what the kinds of things that cause that very accurate need to protect yourself, as some of those come up now and bump into that, those memories, first of all, are guidelines. Hey, be careful, this can be a dangerous territory. So those memories can come up, but they can also infect the present time. If that guardedness, if you acted more, if you let that organize you more, that would shape our interaction quite differently. it's fine to have these wounds that we carry because we survived them. Okay? The trick is to use them as information and not be overly organized by them. And then that's basically what therapy is about, helping us become more aware of myself and what I bring, and when some of the defenses are being overblown.
Yeah, and that exercise was very powerful. It was just an illustration of how, you know, our bodies hold on to trauma, right? And kind of a new dimension of healing almost.
Yeah, it's because those experiences have been there and we've survived them, the painful part is going to stay there. Okay? So we can't get rid of them, and it's important that we don't. Okay? But they can be useful information, and that's the channel that bodywork and bioenergetic analysis can add to a person's therapy sort of stew that they make use of.
Yeah, great advice, Alex. This has been incredibly informative and practical. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I really enjoyed it. As you can tell, I love talking about bioenergetics. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.